When I grow up, I want to be an NBA basketball player.
When I grow up, I want to be a famous soccer player.
When I grow up, I want to be a professional football player.
When I grow up, I want to be a professional cheerleader.
How many of us grew up wanting these exact same things, yet we find ourselves accepting less than we dreamed of as a child? Trauma, adversity, unfair circumstances, you name it. Totally understandable, yet, is it really? Here at I'm 1% Possible, we explore the unsung heroes, the everyday, unassuming individuals that you may have never heard of. But they all have one thing in common. When life struck them, they struck back. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, 23-time world record holder on upright and recumbent bike, Matthew Lefthand. Round of applause.
Good to be here, dude. I
Well,
can't
Matthew,
believe you're interviewing and like emceeing and doing everything. You got the computer open, got the kid in the background. You're just chilling. It's just another day, I guess.
Oh, yeah, that's actually my barber son. He's sitting right over there. He came out to support after he gave me a fresh haircut on Wednesday. So,
Nice.
one, I just gotta say, man, one, I'm honored that you're on here. But two, when I set out to do this, it was really because what you did this spring, I never even thought this was a thing.
Yeah.
And then watching you not just do the damn thing, but crush it was like, wow, there's really something to this. And then you helped me make the connections with Zwift, with Peter, and away we go. So
Peter's the man.
yeah,
Heck
he
yeah.
was riding with me when I started. And I'm sure it's the UK. He's probably sleeping right now, but I'm sure he'll be on
He
again
keeps
later.
a weird schedule because he's well,
So
I'm just pumped you're doing it. It's cool to get these virtual records going, and it's cool to see you out there.
I gotta ask. I mean, you had a hell of a year. And from following you, um, obviously you're pretty new to at least the cycling ultra world. What got you here?
Yeah. So I was training for a marathon immediately before I started cycling, but I was only doing that for a couple years because about 5.5 years ago now I was more point and I marathon Boston marathoning, but I kept having injuries that found that, and it's a sport where you can just push yourself and it's less painful, so it's good fit for me.
Okay. And when you started, and just so you know, it sounds like your service where you're driving is probably a little choppy. I know you were just in Sedona from your Instagram stories, hiking with your kids and your wife after you just set 12 records last Saturday. So it sounds like you were injured, but loved running, got into cycling and realized, hey, this isn't nearly as painful as running is.
Yeah.
And did you expect to
Yeah, just
come
the
out?
impact and like the time.
Did you expect to come out and take the ultra cycling world by storm?
No, I had no plans to do so. It really shocked me how much of a fit it was for myself. And I have this mental health background where I've really learned a lot of techniques to overcome a lot of mental challenges and push yourself. And so I was really doing that good with running and cycling. I just always kind of put off the back, off the, sorry. Sorry. So yeah, I'd always like not tried cycling and I tried it and it just fit my body super well. And I was surprised how good I was at it. And it just kind of took off. Like I did my first century ride within a week of being on the bike, and I didn't even know that that was like, some people's like big goal is to do a century ride. And someone told me about this ride from Logan, Utah to Jackson, Wyoming that was
Loaded ya.
208. Yep, loaded you.
I've done it.
208
I've done it
miles.
twice. Yep.
Oh, it's such a, I've done it 3 times now. I guess 2 times actually. Such a cool race. And yeah, my first time was just the ride, but someone told me about it and they said, you should do this. And I was like, you're crazy. I'm not doing 208 miles on a bike.
Hmm.
But after like a couple weeks of being on the bike and doing a couple centuries, I was like, okay, I want to do that. But granted, it was like 50 days away and I had just clipped in like a week ago. So that kind of tells you that it just clicked for me. I just loved being on the bike. I wanted to do it. I learned a lot from that first race. And here we are like 3 years later. And yeah, surprised to me, like just crushing it and loving it.
Man, if that doesn't sound familiar. I got my first trike from the VA, and within 6 weeks showed up to Silver
Yeah.
State 508,
Yeah.
not knowing anything, but
Yeah.
knowing this makes sense.
Yeah. Just,
And
just feels right. Like you're at
yeah.
home, right?
Well, I'm curious. How's your family handling this?
Yeah, it's been like a shock to the system because I mean, up to this point, we've been living a different dream where I have a master's degree in counseling. I have a practice that I was running. I was starting to supervise other people, and I still do. My wife had a stable job. We were starting to have kids, and then all of a sudden, just like athletics comes full swing. And it's been conversation after conversation of like, how much do I pursue this? How much do I race? At first, really kind of keeping it low key and not putting a lot of pressure on the family. But then, as things really picked up and I realized I was really good at it, the conversation started being like, hey, if I put some time into this, I could maybe really do some really cool things. And then I won my first big ultra, Hoodoo, and I beat the
I
old course
I was
record.
there. You
Yep,
beat
you
my
were.
2-man relay.
Yeah. I beat all the 4-man and 2-man.
Oh,
Well, the 4-man I think got me by like an hour or something that year, but this last year I beat everyone. But I
yep.
won that first one and took like 6 hours off the course record from 35 to 29 hours. And I was like, okay, that was really the tipping point of my wife was there, my dad were there, they were the crew. My dad drove all night. My wife handed me everything I needed. And there was this big conversation of like, hey, next year, if I really went in on this, I could do some big things. Do we want to do that? Do we want to invest the time? And my wife's always super supportive, and it's like a back and forth thing. She
Hmm.
loves the local community and she volunteers on a couple organizations, and I hold down the fort when she's gone and take care of the kids and make the meals, and I do a lot of breakfasts and whatnot. And a lot of the house chores we just switch off back and forth. And so we had this conversation of like, hey, let's give it a go. If you can break records and do things. At that point we were like, if you can win some races, really, like let's see where that takes us. And then over that next winter, training just went super well. I'm a huge advocate of Zwift, virtual cycling, obviously. And
Yeah.
my training just like skyrocketed even further. And I was like, okay, let's see what we could do if we really aim for 24-hour events, because that seems to be a good fit for me. And man, we just came out swinging, and I don't know where it came from. I didn't know it was in me, and but that's a big part of my mental health background. It's like you don't know how strong you are, you don't know how much you can get through. But I know a ton of people who have made it through a lot and done a lot of really cool things. So go out and try and see what happens. And this is me going out and trying and seeing what happens.
I commend you for that. And I'm curious. I've been in therapy. I know we've talked about this back and forth for a bulk of my life, and not
didn't necessarily save me. I'm in a catastrophe mindset, but some of it was that, some of it was just, bi-weekly or monthly tune-ups.
Mhm.
How receptive have your clients been? I'm always a lead by example kind of guy.
Yeah.
So are you sharing with them like, look, I hear your sob stories, not discrediting them, but so what now what? And if so,
Yeah.
how are they receiving that?
Yeah. I kind of tell people nowadays I have like a foot in two worlds, if each foot in a different world. One, I meet with people who sometimes are at the lowest of the low of their life and they're coming in for a big help. They don't know what to do and they're really disparaged. Sometimes I meet with people that are going through a little bit less of a like traumatizing or challenging thing. They just want to make their life better. Those
Okay.
people are kind of who I pitch the maybe David Goggins, maybe Mel Robbins, maybe like
Yep.
just go and do it.
She's
Like, well, you know
awesome.
what you're, yeah, I
I
love
love both
Mel.
of them. I love both
Yep.
of them.
Rich Roll, I lived and breathed that podcast for a solid year, like every episode in my ear on the bike, like just taking in all these wisdoms from people. And so I can connect with that client. But I do spend some time with people who are in the pits and they don't want to hear
Of
David
course.
Goggins pull yourself out. Like they're going through some real crap and I've never been through some of the stuff they've been through. So
Of
I
course.
sit down with them and try and meet them where they're at and
Yep.
try and help them through that. But it is a little bit weird being in two worlds where those people need a different type of help than where I spend the bulk of my time and energy pushing myself to something that I didn't even think was possible for myself or that I think is sometimes people don't even think it's possible. Like I get told all the time, like you can't do that, and I'm like, well, I just did it. Like, so what do you mean we can't
That's
do it? We
my
don't.
dangerously, that's almost my favorite phrase.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
oh yeah, motherfucker, watch this.
yeah, yeah. And we've thought that this is the limit or that is the limit for years on things, and then someone comes and breaks it, and we're all shocked or whatever. So, I within reason, you've got to you got to know which limits to listen to and which ones to push. And sometimes you got to fail on some ones and sometimes you got to succeed on other ones because it worked out. But yeah, as far as clients go, it's an interesting balance and I find myself wanting to work more with the people who are wanting to get to the next level of life and not really down low, just because that's where my mental space is so much of the time and it's hard. Is sometimes it feels like a real clunk for me to shift into this like
Uh-huh.
real low spot with people. But I've done that for a while and I love doing that and I love the people that do. It's just like I don't think right now it's the most fitting for me. But I supervise some therapists who that's what they do. They work through
Right.
people's trauma. They work through the stuff they've gone through, and I
Yeah.
love that world and I appreciate it because people, whether it's war and veterans, whether it's a bad marriage or a bad childhood or whatever, like people need help, and so I love people that are there for them.
As a ultra athlete, I'm curious your perspective on this. I don't know if I know any, I would say any serious ultra athlete that isn't really, or at least didn't start, uh, basically almost from a trauma background. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious your thoughts on that.
Mm-hmm.
And besides, overcoming or looking for
Yeah.
another way of training, what brought you and what kept you in this?
Yeah, so I'll talk my angle. I real briefly, Hoppo. Everyone knows Hoppo.
Mm-hmm.
Him and I are great friends. He was pretty much my first friend in the ultra world. Great first friend to have. Him and Nick DeHaan. I don't know if you know Nick very
I
well.
don't, not yet at least.
Um, he's done a lot of self-supported randoneering type of stuff. He has the amateur PBP record.
Okay.
Um, just a beast on the bike, diesel engine type of deal. Anyways, these guys were some of my first friends in the ultra world, and I've had a lot of discussions with Hoppo about like him and I are kind of cut from the same cloth in how we take on the ultra world, but we're cut from very different cloths with how we've got there. Like he has this military background and just like one of those hard as nails dudes who was like he's suffered through so much. He's broken bones and kept going in races and just like pushes through
Got it.
incredible things
Real
where I
Goggins
don't
like.
have real Goggins like, yeah. I
Okay.
don't have a lot of like trauma background myself. I've had a really good life and I got into therapy because I wanted to help other people have a good life as well. And so personally I can kind of talk where I come from, but I do think you're right that a lot of people have learned how to suffer and learned that going like they can make it through tough stuff. And so ultra kind of is familiar to them because they've learned to just go through it and
Uh-huh.
they have so much other pain in their life that they choose the pain to deal with rather than dealing with the pain that they have or they've gone through. So there's a lot of interesting psychology there. But for me, the way that I put it is I've always just liked to go, go, go. Like I just have this
Okay.
battery and engine that it hates to be idle. Like I do not sit well. I do not like even when I've been bigger and not active, I'm just busy all day with something mentally, tinkering with something. I'm one of
Yep.
those guys, so I look at the top of the mountain and I'm like, I want to be up there, and I go up there. Like I don't just sit there and think about it. But I get to the
Love it.
top and I think I want to be the top of that peak, and I keep going. And
Mm.
I've just always worn myself out. I've always worn other people out, and so it's just
I
fulfilling
imagine
to
you were a
me.
handful of a child.
Yeah, exactly. My parents just always had to keep me active and doing stuff because yeah, I burned through stuff, and so ultra was like a home for me. It was somewhere where I could keep that. I could bottle it, I could use it, I could grow from it, and it helped me use it in a positive way and really helped me then like I always tell my clients who come in with like ADHD or attention issues or those type of things, a lot of people in that case need something to use up that energy and help them focus. So I tell them running, cycling, some like weightlifting, something like
Okay.
that that you can do the zone 2. You don't need to go kill yourself. Like just go and move your body and it's going
That's
to help
funny
you
coming from you.
focus. I mean, that's how I've gotten where I am. Like, I do some interval work and I do when I need to. And I haven't done strength training off the bike. I've done a lot of like low cadence, like upper
Hill
zone type of
climbs.
work.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. And I will when I need to. But most of my engine building has been from zone 2. And it's because I love the mental space. I'm a slow twitch, slow burn. I can go all day type of thing. And so I tell clients, I tell everyone, especially if you have attention issues, just go load your system just enough. There's a reason that shower thoughts are a shower, like they come from there because you're
Mm.
stimulated just enough. Like your body, you're feeling the temperature, you have this physical like thing, and so your body's processing that and slowing down. It doesn't have enough processing power to go through multiple thoughts. It only makes you think about one thing because it has all this stimulus. That's what
Ah,
exercise is. So instead of going sitting in the shower all day, just go and run, go and walk, go and move your body, go and get on the bike, and you're going to find a way to slow down and have clear thoughts.
that's very, it's very interesting. I bring this up a lot, and from a veteran perspective, they seem to understand. But I'm curious from your educational background and your therapy training, and I think I know the answer to this question. Point being is this: in the military, we do regulated physical fitness, usually at least 5 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's where I think we missed the mark. We never realize because we're so focused on lethality that that's actually for mental health.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not taking away the lethality component, but if we don't
Sure.
have the mind, we
Mm-hmm.
don't have the body to go along with it. I
Yeah.
think we have it backwards. We only focus on the
Yeah.
body, not the mind.
Yeah. Yeah, how many soldiers or police officers freeze up because they freeze up in a situation because they don't have the mental part of it. It doesn't matter how strong or fast or smart you are if you aren't mentally there.
One, so when I realized that was throughout my medical discharge, I had so many people tell me what I couldn't do.
Mm,
And I was in such a bad headspace. I just
yeah.
believed them. My pain doctor, my main, my primary care doctor, every single person said, you cannot, should not, will not, could not. I was just like, well, why am I even alive?
Yeah, what's the
If I
point? Yep.
if I can't do anything, and I was talking about this with my previous guest, you just want me to survive. Well, there's a
Hmm.
lot of people that survive. And if we go from what I would have considered was thriving, or at least feeling purposeful, being active, doing something with my life, to now take all that away and just go be a bump on a log. I, I really think that's why it's like, okay, well, we turn to the we turn to other unhealthy addictions.
Yeah.
Um, and again, I'm curious your perspective. I've talked with my therapist about this, but from my understanding through experience, we are all addicts, and that's not a bad thing. The human brain is designed that way.
Yeah.
We need the dopamine. We have all these other hormones that get us to do different things. And then when we don't have a way to regulate it, AKA through fitness, we turn to alcohol, drugs, promiscuity, whatever your flavor, or high adrenaline activities.
Yeah.
And then our decision, we go basically straight lizard brain because we're not,
Yeah.
or we're literally killing the prefrontal cortex. It's like, well,
Yep.
now I can't make any decisions, or I maybe literally am burning holes in my brain.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with realizing we're all addicts. That's human nature. It's what
Yeah.
you focus that energy on,
Yes.
and that you allow it to either you control it or it controls you.
Yeah. Yep. I say all the time, choose where you put your energy because that's what becomes you. And so if you put your energy into, yeah, I can't or I shouldn't or so and so told me this, like I think sometimes we need the reality check of you
Mm.
have limitations or you have some sort of challenge or issue here. But I think it only hurts us to say you can't or you shouldn't try or never again. Like it's always like you can try, it may not work out, but you should at least try. And I think everyone should be told, especially when you're in those moments where life looks pretty grim. Hey, put your best game face on, have the most positivity you can. So, like, surround yourself with people who are making stuff happen. There's this cool guy here from Utah. His name's Chad Hymas.
Okay.
He had an accident on his elk ranch years ago
Okay.
where a bale of hay fell on him and he was immediately paralyzed. And he was in the
Quadriplegic
middle,
or waist down?
quadriplegic. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
So for the
And
audience
he
who
had,
doesn't understand what that means, it means he has no use of any of his limbs,
yeah,
like wheelchair bound
or
immediately.
like very limited, yeah, use or, yeah. So yeah, I can't. He said quadriplegic. Anyway, you can go look up his stuff. Cool dude. So he had these young kids, this dream of having an elk farm. He kind of had everything he wanted, and he was super depressed for a while. Has a really cool story about like how he came out of that and how good people around him helped him out of that. He now travels around the world alone. He drives himself to the airport in this car that's set up for him, and then he has to have everyone help him on and off of airplanes like complete
Right.
strangers. But he travels and engages and tells people about this ability to just like do the right next thing or do the best you can or do your best, like just don't
Mm.
be told no. Like he was, how many times was he told you can't do this, you can't do that again, life's never going to be the same, and you start to believe that, like you said. And I think people in those moments should instead be told you're going to find a way through this. You're going to
Right.
find the right path. You're going to find what's best for you and your family, and you're going to show up, and your kids still need a dad. And it's like the world still needs you. And that, because that kind of stuff matters. You've
Yep.
got to put positivity. So you should check his stuff out. I really like his positivity on it, because you're going
What
to
was
go
his
through
name
something in
again?
life. Chad Hymas.
Chad Hymas. All right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this brings to mind two things that I think you're going to appreciate.
Yeah.
I'm a big tattoo guy. So for those on the podcast, you can see I've got a full leg. We're actually literally, as soon as I finish this tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday, I'm driving down to Arizona. My artist is going to finish the rest of it.
Yeah.
Sea of Ink. He's over here underneath the flag. Kevin Bradley. So I like watching Ink Master. Something I've always just, there's a certain, sometimes when you go through a certain amount of pain or trauma, whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
the only way to almost excise it out, if you will, is by bringing yourself back to that level of pain, but then
Yeah.
making something beautiful out of it, whether
Yep.
it's art or
Sure.
what we're doing right now in Ultra or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But point being is, there was this really cool grounded artist. I can't remember what season it was on. And he gets knocked out for either a mistake that he made or whatever the case may be. And it was almost I wouldn't say necessarily like a Buddhist approach, but I never heard it put this way. Said in life you have W's and L's. Everybody's familiar with that. But he said it's up to you whether those are wins and losses or wins and lessons.
Nice.
And I was like,
Love that.
man, it's so simple. Like
Mm-hmm.
like how I've taken impossible and turned it I'm possible. You just got to
Yeah.
take a breath and go, am I going to own this? And am I going to put space in it? Or am I going to let it own me?
Yeah.
And
yeah, I love that.
and then the second thing, it's ironic you're driving in the car, and I use this in one of my news interviews, but I had to learn this through experience. I spent so many years of my life looking in the rearview mirror at the past. So I'm a big believer in this. Depression is being stuck in the past.
Yeah.
Which you can't
Stuck
change.
in the past or wanting the future to be different.
Right.
Yep.
And well, I would say in the opposite, anxiety is stress about the future.
Yeah.
Of which in either way, I really don't have any control.
Mm-hmm.
If I stay in the driver's seat and I look through the windshield, there's a reason why it's so much bigger than the rear view mirror.
Yeah.
Because that's where you're going.
Love that.
There's nothing wrong with taking a look. Hey, I see that. Hey, maybe something's coming up. Maybe I need to address it. But when you're driving, you spend most of your time looking out the windshield so that you can get where you need to go. And it's good luck driving while staring at the rear view mirror. You're gonna crash.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you know Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now?
Yes, absolutely.
I love Eastern teachings and stuff like that, and he's got a very Eastern approach to him, even though he incorporates a bunch of different like faiths and philosophies into kind of what he talks about. And he's got a lot of good things about that, about how the present is the only thing that exists. Because even if you have to deal with something from the past, you're dealing with how it's interacting with you now. And the failure that we make is that we go back there and we try and recreate or fix or
what
analyze.
If, could if, should
exactly.
have, could have. Well,
and all you need to do is, how is that impacting me now? Like, what is that doing for me or against me, or changing things, or changed who I am now? And how do I deal with that now? And then come back to, like you said, the windshield. What is actually here? What am I actually able to deal and be around? And I love that, because it's not that the past doesn't exist. It's not that the future that is beyond us isn't going to be important. It just is the fact that now is the only thing that you have to handle. And so, yeah, take a glance, take a look at it, but always bring it back to, what does that mean for today in this moment?
Once I got a good grasp on staying present, I really felt a shift in my
Yeah.
life.
Just frees you.
Correct. And I realized, and I've never been through a 12 step. I'm not a Narcotics Anonymous, Alcohol Anonymous. I literally
Yeah.
didn't even drink a sip of alcohol until I was 30.
Yeah.
And I've I've barely even been buzzed. I just don't find that it does anything for me.
Yeah.
No judgment if that's people's vice of choice, but I've got plenty of friends who have dealt with that. And
Mhm.
part of I believe it's the Serenity Prayer, is basically control the controllables.
Yeah,
Give me
exactly.
the grace to, accept what has
Yeah.
happened, stay
The
present,
wisdom.
move forward, etc. And I had a teammate who like, hey, were you in the program? I was like, I mean, I've been in a lot of programs, but I don't know what program you're referring to. And he's like, oh, you said something that's like a part of the 12 steps. I was like, oh, I had no idea. But I think there's, if you will, there's a lot of universal truths that just come from being authentic.
Yeah.
And when you can be in that space, it's like, well, this is what it is.
Yeah.
And I'm not here to, I used to wear a lot of masks, because I had to fit in. So I felt with these different things so that I could be what I thought I was supposed to be. And I'm like, I'm just going to accept this. This is what it is. Um, I don't use my service dog anymore, Striker. But when I did, I was initially real insecure about bringing him around because I was like, he draws so much attention that I just want to hide. And then I realized, wait, this is actually a good thing. And that's why he became my logo, one in business and two for the team, is like, he has brought me through this.
Yeah.
So let's honor that, accept it. And guess what? He actually helps other people even now more than he even helps me. He's chilling
Yeah.
at home. Like
Yeah.
I don't need to sit in that space anymore. And as I said it at the Ram finish line, initially my thought process was a Striker, which was the vehicle that I got injured in, a Striker broke me.
Yeah.
So Striker will fix me.
Mhm.
Well, now I'm fixed. And that wasn't a physical fix. That was a mental fix. I'm
Yeah.
good. I've accepted it.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
now his son is the firstborn, which will be his pseudo replacement, but not for me, for others, is his name is Odin. See, now we're creating warriors. So now I have Odin and very similar personalities, real cuddly, but my mission has changed. I'm not here to feel sorry for myself. I'm here to
Yeah.
help other people like you stop feeling sorry for themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Love all that, dude.
we've talked philosophy. I'm curious, what's next? I mean, you had a hell of a year. You won the Wooka Cup. You
Yeah.
won everything you touched.
Yeah. Not official yet, but yeah, Luca World Cup is done. All
So
races went super well. I missed out on one plan because of a broken collarbone, but bounced right back 10 weeks later to slay another thing. So yeah, like all of it's been wild to me. I was finishing up Hoodoo this year and I took 4 hours off of my time from last year and
right,
was just
which
like
was
on top
already
of
record breaking.
which is already record breaking. I was super like just in this twilight zone haze of like, is this real? When I finished when I was finishing Race Across the West, which I broke a 12-year-old record there,
Right.
and
No big deal.
was
Real
yeah,
casual.
that one real casual like. I mean, just flew on that course, and I was just kind of like in utter like shock of like, is this reality? Is this really happening? And even back in April when I did my own virtual world record, I kind of was like, this is it. Like this is your people get like one really good performance in a lifetime, right? Like that's like you
Yep.
can live on that and cash that check for days. About I performed once, and then at Race Across the West, I was like, okay, well, I got an outdoor one, you know. Now if all the other races don't come together, like this was my one thing. And so then
Right.
I'm finishing up Hoodoo and just kind of in this like, wow, is this like what I can really do and keep doing? Like, is this really within my wheelhouse? Um, and so I'm just kind of shocked, but also riding the wave and keeping it up and still learning and growing. And so when I look at 2026, I put a whole bunch of crap on the calendar. Like I got a
Okay.
schedule with a race pretty much every month or some sort of record or something we'll go for. I've got A
Okay.
ones. I've got about 3 or 4 A events that I'm going to go for. Sebring 24 hour is an A
Yep.
event.
Say hi to
Unbound
Larry for
XL.
me. I was
Heck
hoping
yeah.
to be there, but my wife, my wife has supported my antics enough in 2025. And so I told her, hey, 2026 is about you. She's
Nice.
getting ready to become a firefighter. And
Oh,
so
cool.
I said, whatever, we will do whatever it takes as a family to get you through that. I have two things, one on the calendar. One will be whenever Swift brings the
Yeah.
trike out. I will redo some of these records for that point, maybe 6 hours and below. I don't really know. But
Yeah.
beyond that, I'm like, hey, I'm going to give you 2026. Oh, by the way, we've been married a year
Cool.
in January and we haven't gone on a honeymoon. That's a
Yeah.
priority. Like,
Cool.
let's let's get this figured
Well, that's a
out. So,
yeah, that's a
Sebring,
great plan.
Unbound.
Sebring, Unbound. I'm going to see Larry a lot. I'm going to the schedule has all the ultra championships, all the WUKA championships, so 6, 12, 24, and ultra, which he has 3 of those.
Okay.
Um, so Unbound, but the main ones are Sebring, Unbound, and then whatever I put at the end of the season, because you just can't push it all the time, especially with ultra stuff. Like you can't turn around next month and do your best.
Yeah, I would
So
agree.
I'll have these tiers of like these races I'll show up for and I'll perform, and these are the races, B races that I'll show up and want to do near my best, but I don't want to put myself in a hole because I have these A races where I'm really going to put everything, and things shift as they go. But as of right now, February, May, and then something at the end of the year that I'll really put my all into. But we're going to be on the road. We partnered with Van Do It, and we have
Yep.
this trip, this camper van. So we're making family vacations out of all these things. We're asking how the family's doing. We're gonna take that. Like we were just in Sedona, you know, and
Good on you,
before
man.
that, on our way home, we went to Arches. So we're gonna take the kids to national parks. We're gonna go see sights. We're gonna go to the ocean. We're not gonna, you know, we're gonna enjoy ourselves. When we go out to Sebring, we'll take 2 whole weeks. We'll stop a couple places on the way out. We'll spend some days there. We'll stop a couple places on the way home. So it's going to be a wild year, but we're going to be on the road a week or two a month, just going places and seeing what I can do, but also making it a family experience and showing how you can incorporate your dreams with other people's. Like you supporting your wife next year, I love that. And my wife is the president of a local service organization. So, like I said, we make time for her to do the things she's doing and run her meetings and help everyone in the organization grow and learn as well. So, you keep busy, but you just make sure that you are supporting everyone, giving the kids what they need and wife and yourself. And it's a constant conversation and balance.
I understand that. I live it. I appreciate you saying it and I respect it. Um, but for those of us, even including myself, who are fans of yours, I think we all want to know when are you taking a stab at Ram? What's that looking like? I know it's been a
Yeah,
conversation.
it has been a conversation. And Um, I don't have any plans solid yet. I have thoughts, and I really was thinking about doing it this next year. It's a huge financial obligation that I don't have
That's an
the
understatement.
personal funding to do currently. So once I work up some sort of arrangement that would work good to do that, or some other way to fund it, that's a portion of it. The other really hard thing is that, like you said, I'm pretty new to all of this. So a lot of what I'm doing is still growing my like presence and my place in the community because I
Yep.
love people. I'm a people person. Not like I'm from like a basic who I am. I'm a solo kind of lone wolf. Like I would just go and do my own thing, but I also need people and I need a community. So I have this mixture where I'd say like 60, 70, maybe 75% I could be on my own, but I need people. And so I realized that you can't just show up for people when you need them. So I love showing up for other people so that I keep my people strong and I keep my also personal relationship strong. That's why I show up so much for my wife and my kids and the rest of my family. So a big part of what I'm doing is still trying to grow that community, get to know more people, make these relationships. And so the other hard part of RAM is that it's a really great personal achievement and it's big in the ultra world. Everyone knows about it. But it's not necessarily something to like get your name out there. So I'm trying to do some other things to
Fair
make
enough.
connections, get my name out there. That's like why Unbound's on the schedule because people are watching gravel ultra like crazy. And
Yep.
so the more relationships I can make, I heard this quote recently. I'm part of this organization, Brainstoke, and
Yep.
they have
Okay.
this philosophy of the five S's and making sure you get your sweat on and you have your stoke, the things you love to do, and these other parts of family in your life. And um, they had this person on recently, and he had this quote of, "On your way up to the top, take as many people with you as you can. You'll stay there
Ooh,
longer and you'll have more friends and people to hang out with." So
I love
I
that.
think there's lots of ways that I could be going about what I'm doing, but I'm trying to bring as many people as I can because I want this to be a community and I want this community to grow and thrive. And I want people to realize they can do more than they think they can because I didn't think any of this was within my wheelhouse. So, what's within your wheelhouse? You don't know. Go out there and try it and let's figure it out together and see what amazing things we can accomplish.
That is beautiful and very grounded. And I appreciate that. I had to learn that lesson, and I came at this more from a, uh, I would say, insecure ego standpoint initially, and I realized I personally can't do these things by myself, and now I don't want to. It,
Yeah.
I haven't ridden 24 hours besides prepping for this. I haven't done anything solo in probably 2 or 3 years
Yeah.
because it's for me it's not as enjoyable
Yeah.
because I don't get enough people involved, and I'm like I have more fun leading the charge, like you bringing others
Yeah.
along, and that's kind of how our whole team started. I We came out to Worlds. When I had people that are like, I've never ridden that long before, and I'm like, yeah, but you don't know what you can do until you try. So if
Yeah.
you're gonna do RAM, you can at least figure out what this feels like in a very controlled environment.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
100%. And yeah, it's better with more people. And there's enough to go around for everybody too. Like whether I think was it the Honolulu Marathon or something? I just saw a social media post where they posted first place and last finisher, and it was like same level of effort, same commitment. Like
hmm,
we love the stories of people winning. There was this guy at Race Across the West this year, Martin Landsman, and he was the last finisher there. And I was like as ecstatic to hear that he made it as I was for my own performance. Like I was watching his dot and like, come on, dude, you can make the cutoffs. You can do this. Like, dude was not cut out for Race Across the West. He's 6'8", and like there's this huge, like his bike was massive. The head tube on that thing, I was like, this dude. And Race Across the West starts like right because
oh,
Ram it starts right uphill, and so
oh, I know.
I passed him early on, and I was like, this dude is not gonna make it. But I didn't think that like I wanted him to make it, but I was like, he has his work cut out for him.
Right,
I was cheering that dude on so hardcore, and when I saw he didn't come to the thing because he just like barely had finished like the after party thing.
right.
But I told his team, I was like, man, I was rooting for him and putting good energy out there because I just like to see people put their best out there and do things that they can't do. So if I think some people see what I do and they're like, oh, this dude's just so full of himself. Because how can you not when you make the posts and they kind of look like that. But really, like I just love seeing people do cool stuff and find gears that they didn't even know that they had.
I appreciate that. Um, Man, thanks for making time for this.
Heck yeah, I was scared I wasn't going to be able to make it. I'm right between family parties, so
no,
I wanted to be here for you because I think you're awesome and I love the approach that you have to all of it. Also, it's really cool to see people doing the virtual records. We should have more of them for sure. And getting trike on Zwift, I want to see other recumbents. I started riding the cruise bike, so it'd be awesome to get a cruise bike on there. Like, just need more support, more community. Like, whether it's because you have to, or there's lots of people that should ride recumbents because uprights have issues for a lot of
right.
people anyway, and they'd be more happy, even if they don't have to. They'd be more happy on a recumbent. So that's kind of one of the reasons that I'm in that realm. To help
And
people
I
realize like
appreciate that.
there's options. Yeah.
And just so you know, so when I did the road records, I took several of the records from a friend of mine. And so
Yeah.
for me, it's always, and he was there, um, and was the official timekeeper. And so for
Cool.
me, and obviously when I reached out to you, I think there was an initial hesitation of you thought I was going to try to go after your records, which good luck. I don't have a chance nor a desire, but I'm always big on honor the people who came before you, and
Yeah.
especially if I'm going to take something that they earned, I want people to understand the amount of effort that it takes to do so. But I'm just really impressed by knowing who you are. And for me, and I've tried to make this very clear, these records are in no way about, oh, let's add something else to the resume for me. I do not care. I really don't. And people are like, yo, there's no way. Why would you suffer for 24 hours? Because I know if I don't go out here and do it, I don't know if somebody else is willing to.
Yeah.
And there's got to be a change. And you know what? Here I am, Lauren, send me. If that's what it takes, you have built me. I have tried to quit this sport. A lot of people don't know this. I've tried to quit this sport so many times. And every time, God brings me right back. And maybe there's another sponsor, or I hear a quote, or I get told a story of, hey, you helped me get through this, and watching you do this has led to this for me. And I'll go, oh, sorry, God, I forgot. I was worried about me. I was being the victim. It's not about me. For whatever reason, you built me to suffer. So just like for Ram and for Race Across the West, I'm going to suffer better.
Heck yeah.
And that, really, that's what it comes down to. It is what it is.
Yep.
I'm well taken care of. God's always provided, even when I couldn't see a way out of it. We're here and now. So I'm honored to know you. I'm honored to watch what you are doing. And it's really cool to see you on a two-wheel recumbent. I'm curious what it would feel like for you to be on a trike, because it is heavier and I think the angles are a little bit different. But just to have somebody to bounce ideas off of. And Larry too. He's really helped me out through this process. So
yeah,
I'm curious to see.
Yeah, Larry's great.
Holds.
And something I found about the ultra world and I keep finding is that there's just good people there. Like we're all this little family, and it's fairly small in a lot of ways, but there are also lots of people that belong to it and should belong to it. So we're kind of out here, I hope, like shouting from the mountaintops of like, come and join us, come and join the family. I made a post a while ago that was like, if you're looking for a family, like there's one here. We all, it looks like competition and it looks like racing and everything, but like we're the first ones to cheer on each other.
100%.
So
100%.
I love seeing what you're doing, and if people go for the records and take them and everything, like that's what they're there for. We're there to push each other.
I completely agree. They are made to be broken, but if they're never made, they can't be broken.
Exactly. And
So
so we
that's
set high bars for
yeah.
ourselves and for others, and that pushes other people to be strong and everything, like the
Yep.
next little while I'm looking at some pretty big record attempts, and the people who have them are hardcore people. And I love that they put those things out there so that we can chase them down. And I hope if I'm blessed enough and capable enough to do the things I want to do or that I think I can do over the next little while, that someone chases me just as hard one day. In fact, someone on December 27th is going for the 12-hour Zwift Guinness record. They're not doing the WUKA Aero certification and everything. They're going just for the Zwift one. I love that. It's this German dude. He's pretty young looking. He has on his
Cool.
Instagram that he wants to do solo ram in 2027. You know, I like,
Welcome to
let's
the
get
party,
this,
bro.
let's do this. There's lots of goodness to go around. Let's keep pushing each other.
Amen. Any parting thoughts? I feel like that really wrapped it up with a bow, but
No, keep it up, dude. Have a good ride. Keep eating.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. I appreciate you, man. Cheers.
Heck yeah. We'll check out on you as you keep going. So see ya.
Thanks. Enjoy your Christmas party.
Yep.